Am I the bad guy for asking my girlfriend and her sister to cover up? I'm man. I'm 26. I have decided to work on my flexibility and mobility due to my injuries from playing soccer in high school. I have a girlfriend. We are dating for 2 years, and she highly recommended me to try yoga. She does yoga 3 times a week, and she's incredible flexible. She told me she will talk to her sister as she is a personal trainer. I agreed. My girlfriend, myself, and her younger sister, as the teacher, have been doing yoga twice a week at my house for at least 3 weeks. I feel fantastic and really feel that it has been helping me. Yesterday, my mother called me asking me if I still going to give her the freezer I no longer use. I said yes and told her to come and get it, or I will take it to her the next day. The freezer in my garage when we do yoga. I usually do it shirtless, and my girlfriend and her sister are in sports bra and yeah, they sweats. Well, in the middle of our yoga session, I get a notification that someone was at my front door. It was my mom and dad. I hit it to the floor while putting on a shirt. But I asked my girlfriend and her sister to put on a top also. My girlfriend gave me a daggers for eyes, and her sister gave me a confused, "What the hell are you look?" I said please because my parents were coming in. I let my parents in, and when I come back, they still are in their sport bras. My parents greet them and leave shortly after. My girlfriend's sister ends up leaving before they finish the session and told me that I am no longer her client because she's the teacher and she felt I disrespected her. I was confused and asked my girlfriend what she meant. She said, "Dude, she has big boobs. She gets cheated on like that all the time. You need to apologize like now." I told her I will clear things up with your sister, but I will not apologize because I didn't mean in that way. My girlfriend doesn't believe me and think I was trying to police her and her sister. I did start to think about it, and her sister is a good person, and I'm thinking I did overstep the boundaries. I don't feel I did. Well, is everyone skipped over the fact that he put on a shirt also? He didn't single the girls out and he only said it was for a few minutes until his parents leave. No one is sexualizing anything here. If so, then he wouldn't have to put on a shirt and only told them to put one on. It's more of a respect thing than a sexualizing thing, and people in comments seems to have failed to realize that. Well, I'm in fact 21, female, and can see the whole picture. Not the bad guy. I'm a woman, and if I was in my sport bra, I would appreciate my husband gives me a heads up that his parents were here so I could put on a shirt. I will be mortified if they saw me in my bra. I do wear it to work out alone or with my partner or sister. It just seems like maybe they were raised differently. Maybe you might have phrased it differently, like, "Hands up, my parents are here," instead of, "Hey, put on some clothes." But I feel like they're making a mountain out of something pretty innocuous. I'm the bad guy for leaving my son's wedding after he denied his stepmom and mother-son dance. My son Jordan is 27. His stepmom, Natalie, came into his life when he was 16. His mom had passed away when he was 13. Jordan never really considered Natalie as his mom. He refused to let her get close and shut down every attempt to have a close relationships. He even moved in with her own months after Natalie and I got married. As years went by, they started reconciling and seeing each other more often. He invited us to his wedding, which took place days ago. We got there and the atmosphere was great, until late when I found out that Jordan has denied Natalie a mother-son dance and instead chose his own to dance with him. Natalie told me this minutes later, and I couldn't help feel irritated and quite upset. I decided to get up and leave, and we both left. I got calls from my family after they saw me leave, and Jordan called later and I told him why I did it. He got mad and said it was his wedding and that his aunt is basically mother to him, and said that Natalie shouldn't expect some special treatment. I said it's not special treatment, but a tradition. Besides that, he hurt her feeling for no reason other than for the sake of being malicious. He got offended and accused me of ruining his day and causing a scene. Now the whole family sided with him and said I shouldn't have lived no matter what. Yeah, you did it wrong. Your wife has never been his mother, and he has every right to not to have a mother-son dance with her. I strongly suspect that this isn't the first time you've chosen your wife over your son, and it's probably why he moved in with his aunt. If you want any kind of relationship with your son going forward, I very much recommend both you and your wife apologize for throwing a tantrum at his wedding. Well, for Reiter, son to have moved out after only a few months, I have a feeling the reason is because the writer and his wife were trying to force him to accept the stepmom as his mom right from the start. And after all this happens, LP's sons invite them both to his wedding. And Reiter has the audacity to demand a mother-son dance. Then they leave when they don't get their way. Wow, there goes any chance of them mending their relationship. Sounds nice. I've heard similar stories out here. The writer is keeping suspiciously quiet about why his son doesn't like his wife. As it stands, she's not Opie's son mother. She didn't raise him and he doesn't like her. Yet Arthur and his wife expect her to be given the mother-son dance. Am I the bad guy for telling my brother I will help him and his children but not his wife? My brother and I were adopted into the same family. He is white and I'm a dark-skinned black woman. Our parents were an interracial couple, and our family had some unique challenges over the years. But our parents did their best for us and tried their hardest to get us as much information as possible with our birth families. It was a little easier with mine because I was orphaned and I had two older living birth relatives who were just incapable of carrying me and needed care themselves. My brother had a very different story, and he had no information at all. When he was 20, he met his wife. They married after 2 years of dating. She always gave me bad vibes. Around the time they got engaged, he told me she kept bringing up his birth family and how he should find them before the wedding. I had told him he didn't have to do anything, but he knew mom and dad will help him, and he had my support. She went behind his back to find him via DNA, and it was a shit show. But for some reason, he forgave her and decided to meet the people which she was thrilled about. It was around that time she told me to get lost because he had sisters who were actually related to him, and not, you can guess the slur, who always made his life more difficult. She told me I was crazy if I thought I'd be in her wedding photos. She also said our parents should get used to having only one child. My brother had already started to pull away by then, and because I was hurt and angry, I never told him what went down between his wife now and I. I chose to not attend his wedding, and I know from our parents that the day was very messy. 6 years of no contact happened, and then he reached out and apologized for letting anything come between us. We have been back of speaking terms for over a year now. It takes a while, but we are doing so much better. I always loved my brother, but was hurt by the stuff that went down between us and me and his wife. A few days ago, my brother's family ended up in a shelter. He lost the job he had for many years and took a huge pay cut in the new one at the same time that his former landlord decided to illegally kick them out by changing the locks. My brother did contact a lawyer, but nothing is as fast as they show in TV and movies, and they have no place to go. I live in the same city, which will allow him to keep what job he has now at least, and so he asked if they could stay. I said I will help him and the kids and they could stay. But his wife is not welcome in my home. He told me he would take that, which did surprise me some. His wife is pissed. She came after me about separating her children from her and how unhealthy it will be for them to see her in a bad way while they're safe and comfortable with me. She called me all kinds of names like Patsy and Bitchy and so on, but it was the comment about the kids that got me questioning. So guys, am I wrong for that? No, you're not bad guy. Nope. Let's call her what she is, a racist. She can't call you names to your face and encouraging your brother to keep ties, then want to be looked out for because it suits her. I will help tell him and will still suggest you tell him now, because if she's bringing up the kids to have some attitude, then nothing gets resolved. You have set a boundary, keep to it. Also added, it's being mentioned that I'm implying that she shouldn't have told her brother about not telling him. Please, let me clarify. I will help tell him. I believe Arthur should have told him, but I felt she did well in keeping calm and not getting nuts on his wife. I will re-edit the comment later. Because I will have told him. Sometimes people don't want to listen, and I wonder if the brother will have listened. I will tell him today that the woman he loves is a racist, and that is why she isn't invited into home. Am I the bad guy for asking to be paid for 6 months of constant dog sitting? My sister Alice owns a flat with her husband, and they have 2 dogs. Alice got a job abroad, so they're moving there. They don't know what to do with the 2 dogs yet, so their current plans is to move abroad and wait a few months, up to 6, to decide if they even like to there or if they want to come back home. If they're liking there, they will try to find a way to move the dogs there with them. But if it's not possible, they will rehome them in our country. I'm 21, still attending university, and I live with my mom. I really want to move out and live alone, but I can't afford it. Alice made me an offer. I can live in their flat for free for 6 months. No rent, no utilities, but I have to take care of their dogs. I have to walk them for hours every day, take them to the vet, and etc. She said they will pay for anything dog related and will pay for doggy daycare for a few days during my exam periods or if I want to go on a vacation. I like her offer. Her flat is much closer to my university, but taking care of 2 dogs is a lot of work. I think it's reasonable to want to be paid for the work I do. If I don't have to take care of the dogs, I could get a part-time job if I wanted to. So I feel like I should be reimbursed for that. Alice and our mom says that being allowed to live in her flat for free is already enough and I'm being unreasonable and money hungry. When they told me this, I laughed at them and told my sister she could try to find another dog sitter then, and I know I'm her best option. Oh, now they're mad at me. So guys, what do you think about it? Update. Okay, yeah, it's my fault. I really thought Alice didn't have any other options. My brother just told me she's now talking to our cousin, who lives 2 hours away, but wants to move to our city. They are even talking about possibly making it a long-term thing. And cousin being allowed to stay after the free 6 months it up for reduced rent, only having to pay an equal amount to the mortgage, which would normally only rate him a room. Yeah, you're the bad guy. You will live rent-free and utilities-free alone in a flat closer to your uni. Try googling how much you'd have to cut up in cash to do the same and boom! That's how much you're paid for dog sitting. With current economy situation, I imagine that someone come up low. Definitely you are wrong. Here for a complete lack of self-awareness. You can have your cake, free rent, utilities, etc. and then expect your sister to pay you to look after the dog in extra change for that. If you don't want to look after the dogs, get your own flat, pay for it, and deal with the stress of struggling to have a room over your head versus taking dog to walk twice a day for 15-20 minutes. Plus, working on top of doing her studies. Free lodging, no expenses and money to burn. You're absolutely wrong. Big time. Let your sister know I'm available. Yeah, right, you're going to be pissed when they actually do find someone else to watch the dog, saying, "You promised I could live in your apartment. I need to be near school." And if the person watching the dog doesn't live there, no one's living there. I don't see why I can use your apartment. There is a massive tantrum pending. Looks like that just happened. Cousin is going to be moving on.